All right, we're gonna work hamstrings with hip shift. So for this, we're gonna use a bench. At home, you can use a box or a chair. The idea is something that's gonna allow us to keep a 90-90 position for the hips and knees. You're also gonna need, something to put in between your thighs, like a foam roller or, rolled up towel or a yoga block. So you're gonna lay on your back, face up. You're gonna get your knees at 90 degrees and your hips at 90 degrees. Now during this exercise, you should keep contact with your low back on the floor. And so, whenever we set up, the foam roller is going to go in between our legs. We're going to squeeze together with some light pressure. We're going to lift the hips up off the ground. And whenever I cue you to lift, it's just so, there's enough space for us to engage the hamstrings and we can slide a piece of paper underneath your hips. So, if you see yourself going into like an extension or a bridge and you're losing contact with your back on the floor, then, that's basically telling you you're in the wrong position. So we're lifting off just enough to slide a piece of paper off in between the floor and your hips. So at this point, what I'm gonna start to do is I'm gonna start to shift my left hip down to the floor and my right one's coming up to the ceiling. And then I'm gonna shift in the opposite direction. Left hip is going up to the ceiling, right one's going to the floor. And so what we're doing is we're shifting back and forth while we're maintaining contact with the foam roller in between our legs. Now at any point, if you feel like you're putting a whole lot of stress on your calves, then probably you're not actually engaging your hamstrings enough, and you need to figure out your 90-90 position and where you're actually putting pressure into the bench or table or chair. And then the other thing that I would tell you is you're just making sure that you're maintaining good contact with the floor and your back, because we're trying to build out regional independence from your hips and your spine. And so you're just shifting back and forth, one hip up, one hip down, one hip up, one hip down. One of the other things that you might look out for is just making sure that you're not rotating or kind of steering away with your hips, because that again is just telling you your braking position. So you're going to do that for the prescribed sets reps.